It's a great day for baseball here in Pittsburgh, and the Pirates hope it will be a very good homestand. They could win their second straight series here today against the San Diego Padres. And welcome into the booth, Joe Block along with Steve Blass. And one big component of how the Pirates have been winning their games, you know, we talk about Gerrit Cole all the time, and he deserves all that credit, but a rookie has emerged as being one of the most consistent starters in the Pirates rotation.
Yeah, Taillon really has been right on track. We have watched his progress up through the minor leagues and expecting him to be what he has been. And you take a look at the location of some of these pitches, really good life downstairs with a fastball. We've known for years about his curveball. He's not afraid now as he comes along in his early major league career to go upstairs with fastballs too. He's got confidence to get swings and misses up there. So you take a look at his last 5 starts, he has been very, very good. Just one free pass, that's always a great foundation. So as he continues to evolve and progress, you just like where he is, and we expect him to be better as he goes along and gain more confidence. His composure is good. He has good body language out on the mound, and I think he's everything the Pirates want him to be at this point in his career.
He looks very experienced out there, yet this being his first season, and we have seen a lot of inexperienced pitchers starting for the Pirates this year, and many have been big contributors so far.
So, 4 names to keep track of as you go along. We used to have something in the Pirate yearbook called Pirate Possibilities, where there's pictures of 4 Pirate possibilities, and you hope that they progress and keep on evolving. You don't know what's going to happen between now and the end of the season or in the off season, health, trades, or whatever, but these young men could be a big part of a Pirate rotation coming up.
Cool is part of it now. Tyler Glasnow getting healthy as well, brought down in Indy. And here today, Jameson Taillon will get the nod for the Pirates as they look to take 2 out of 3 from San Diego. And we've got it for you coming up next, right here on Root Sports.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partners of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit bordaslaw.com. And by Day Automotive, we're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucks!
And Gregory Polanco visiting with Jan Hervey Solarte, who is taken out of the game yesterday for failing to run hard on a pop-up. Andy Green has done that, the Padres manager, a couple times this year. And the foreboding skies overhead. There's a little bit of rain in the area, so we will keep you posted. Got a little bit last night, didn't interrupt the game though.
Nope, did not.
Jameson Taillon,
the man of the hour, always begins with your starting pitcher.
He has been as consistent as it gets, yet with an inconsistent battery made. This will be the 6th different catcher that he has had now in his 10 big league starts.
Yep, but he's the guy that has to throw the ball. All they got to do is put down fingers and catch it. And you know, he has pitched very well. We've talked about that last 5 starts, all the numbers, and you just hope that he has patience. He's a young man. He wants to get wins. The wins will come if he consistently throws like he has been in the last handful of starts.
And he'll get the nod today, and against Andy Green's Padres, 39-year-old manager has put up these 9 for San Diego today, and Travis Jankowski back atop that order with Will Myers to follow. There's Solarte back in the lineup with Dickerson batting cleanup Schiff, and then Blash, who has homered in this series. Nick Noonan, his first start as a Padre. Derek Norris doing the catching of Christian Friedrich.
Yep. So the numbers for Jameson Taillon, as everybody looks to him to put the Padres on an airplane heading to New York. Pirates are headed to Los Angeles, but 9 starts, 2 home runs, but the control has been phenomenal. And you'll hope that he has that really good downer curveball and can complement it with that high heat that he has really kind of embraced that combination last time out. So he's just doing fine. Give him the ball.
And here's the defense behind him, and Sean Rodriguez over there at first, brought to you by Honda. David Freese over there at third with Mercer and Harrison in the middle. Familiar outfield, Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco. Eric Fryer doing the catching, and Cervelli left the game last night with injury. Still on the roster today. Pirates will make a decision on him coming up.
You always look to the starting pitcher when the bats are kind of quiet. The Pirate bats have been quiet, especially last night. So maybe it's going to be a situation where Taillon is called upon to outpitch the opponents. Win it that way with pitching. The bats aren't going to do it.
Jankowski with a 9-game hitting streak now. Singled on the first pitch of the ball game yesterday. He's got very good speed too, so like we were talking about last series with Billy Hamilton, the guy you'd like to keep off the bases, though he has not stolen in this series. Oh, I beg your pardon. He stole home yesterday, of course. I'm thinking first, first into second base. I'm looking at.
Yeah, that wasn't fun to watch, Joe. I can understand why you kind of blocked it up. It was not fun.
And a 4th steal of home by the Padres this season.
We'll take a look at the Rivers Casino tips to win. Don't change a thing. Ray Sayers, give him the ball. He's doing just fine. His control is good. His stuff is good. He's pitching well. Don't clutter it up with anything. Bucks are sending a lot of right-handed bats after a left-hand starter and Friedrich. So let's hope that they can catch up to everything and we can bust out with this offense. That'd be a good combination.
Will Myers, baseball's 20-20 man, 22 home runs, 21 steals. Another guy capable of snaring a bag.
A good Taillon curveball. Well, we got a 20-20 guy on the mound in terms of his control. He throws it. He sees where he wants to throw it and he throws it. So we got 20-20 also.
He's been about as good as it gets in that regard. Soft contact. Nice 2 outs.
Nice play by Jordy. Mercer kind of in between that humpback line, tried getting close to him, so he chose to give a little ground, get a better hop, knowing that he had time to get it across the infield. If he charges this ball, sometimes you get caught in between. So you see him give a little ground, confident turn, confident throw.
Yeah, you don't need a whole lot of fanfare.
And gravity.
Yeah. Sean Rodriguez getting a start over there at first base. Usually see him coming off the bench late in games to play first because of his defensive prowess.
Good to see him out there, Joe.
Let's see if Fryer's got a look at this one. He does, but it'll be out of his reach. John Jaso not in there today. He's had a little bit of swelling underneath that eye after colliding with a shin guard at Derek Norris back on Tuesday.
Good day to wear the sunglasses for the sun and the shiner.
Yeah, the eye patch only works on the old Pirates logos, not really when you're trying to play the game. 2 strikes to Solarte.
See him go upstairs. We're talking about him throwing high fastballs, and he's got enough to make them chase after it. It becomes tempting, but you can't sell it every time.
And that's something that the Pirates like to do. It's not just throw it down and away. No, vary the eye angles. Throw it up sometimes. 3 soft ground balls in the infield gets Taillon out of that first inning.
Good start.
Now the Pirates need to get the bats going here against San Diego as they come to bat here in the first. First, Ryan Vogelsong there on the right. Very strong start for him last night.
Yeah, he was excellent, and he didn't get any runs last night, but he's rooting for Taillon to get some, and this is the lineup that'll try to provide that.
Yeah, the Pirates RAV4 lineup is Josh Harrison atop the order with Marte McCutchen and then David Freese. Polanco slides down to the 5 spot. Freese hits lefties very well. Mercer Rodriguez at first base, his first start there since May. Fryer catching Taillon.
Josh Harrison, he loves to get things started. He loves to take a whack at that first pitch he sees. Not every time, but he's aggressive. And trying to do it against left-hander Christian Friedrich. 4-7.
Clint Hurdle staying with the lineup as it has been constructed.
Here's the numbers for this left-hander coming over from the Colorado Rockies. As you said, 4-7, high ERA. Kind of a standard package that he brings to the table. He throws both a slider and a curveball, fastball change, so kind of a generic sampling that you'll see.
Harrison at 268. Woke up some friends.
That's right, short night, Joe. You know, night game, day game, getaway day, busy.
Got the coffee going. That one will go foul. Yeah, interesting to see as Clint Hurdle keeping the lineup pretty much the same.
You know, that it's amazing how many balls go through that narrow area over the little fence and underneath the top of the dugout. So you got to stay alive. not just when you're out on the field. Shake things up.
One, two. Hit down the line. And extra bases for Harrison. A leadoff double here in the first.
A nice start compared to last night's starts of innings.
Yeah, it took him to the 6th inning to get their first hit.
Down and in. Does he go down and get that ball? Nowhere near the strike zone, but once again, it can be done, and it just keeps the hands in, so it forces that ball to stay fair and not hook to the other side of the foul pole. First inning action, the Pirates.
Got good speed and scoring position. 16 doubles now for Harrison.
Nice to clear the air. I think Joe, after last night, get a quick point on the board.
He can do that here with a base hit. They've had to play from behind in both games. A bunt. Will go down as a sacrifice for Marte. Now they're trying to play for a run here in the first inning. I wonder if that was either put on by Hurdle or if Marte did that on his own. I would think Marte did that on his own.
Now, Starling Marte will like to do that. Looked like he was kind of angling that bat toward second base, or where the second baseman usually plays, maybe to push it past the pitcher. A left-hander will follow through to third base, so if you can push it out that way with his speed, get yourself an infield hit, bunt base hit.
So infield in for San Diego with 3 men on the left side. Edwin Jackson was sterling last night. No hitter into the 6th, 7 shutout innings. And really what was amazing about him is he never allowed a hit with a runner on base all last night. 0 for 11.
Yeah, I mean, when we got somebody on, he put the lid on it. With strikeout or ground ball,
yeah.
every time.
2-0 to McCutchen, who has homered in his career off Friedrich in 3 at-bats. Got 15 of those, second only to Polanco on the club. Deep fly ball gets the Pirates on top first. Hasn't seen one he's liked yet.
Friedrich has not won since June 23rd, so he's 0-5 in his last 7 since that point. So it has been a struggle for this lefty. Pirates saw him as a Rocky last couple of years.
And he walks McCutchen on 4 pitches. Now McCutchen has been increasingly patient at the plate since having those days off in Atlanta. He's gotten on base half the time. And 2 men on for Freese.
And you know that's got to be frustrating to him too, because he wants to hit. He wants to hit. You know, he'll take the walks, and he knows for the greater good that's what you're supposed to do. But when you're struggling mightily like Andrew has been, as you said, he wants to put the barrel of the bat on the baseball. But he'll take that.
He's not helping out the opposing pitcher. I think we've seen it at times throughout the year. He's on at first. Harrison at third with 1 out for Freese. He's hit lefties well all year. 339, 338, I should say, against lefties. There we go.
Pretty good discipline. Taking a curveball. It could have been called a strike. Good looking hook thrown by Friedrich. Takes a swing that's not a good choice on that one. That ball way down underneath the strike zone. Yeah. Not going to do much with that.
Another thought on McCutcheon's at bat, you know, we used to see a lot of lefties pitching around McCutcheon. I wonder if that was kind of the intent there by Friedrich, or if he was just not showing good command, because McCutcheon has not hit lefties as well this year, but
might be a reputation approach.
yeah, maybe that's a sign that they do recognize that he's stinging the ball better. Freese with the base hit.
Textbook stuff from David Freese, who loves to go to right field, right center, and just took a pitch that he could handle out away, up and away. You can extend your arms. That's a veteran major league hitter getting something that he can handle. Simple as that. And he didn't miss it.
And the cleanup hitter does.
See that location there? I mean, you've got to do something with that. It's not guaranteed, but you really need to cash that one in, and he did.
Smacking that hit. Drive-in run number 44. And 3 of the 4 Pirates have reached her in this first inning. Only the sacrifice by Marte, the only out.
Well, I'm liking it better than last night already.
The Pirates, for the first time in this series, score first. Now Polanco. It's 1 out. And Polanco easily beats out the relay. Nick Noonan.
Yeah, you got to think of Seinfeld, don't you? Noonan.
Hello, Noonan. New to the Padres today, ex-Giant. Now in there at shortstop for San Diego. Got that force on Freese. Pirates still have a 2-out chance for Jordy Mercer. There's McCutcheon at third.
Yeah. Clean up our movies here with Noonan on Caddyshack. No, putting. Newman with Seinfeld. Okay, we're all right now.
That's all right. We'll get it straight here. When Kroimer comes up to bat or something, we'll talk about Seinfeld.
Hear the door slam. The entry.
Kramer. What was his name?
Kramer.
Here's the 0-1. 2 strikes. And who can forget his good pal Greg, right? Was it Greg? Who was his friend? Greg Costanza or something like that? George, that's what it was. George
Costanza. Right-hand man of Steinbrenner.
2 on, 2 out. 0-2. An easy catch for Wil Myers. Pirates get on the board first after that leadoff double. And the Pirates leading 1-0.
Shore in PNC Park, where the Buccos have a 1-0 lead as we move to the top of the second inning. And, you know, I guess it's fair to say that you never know what you're going to see when you walk inside the Pirate clubhouse on game day. And earlier today, we saw Starling Marte playing the accordion. Yeah, that's right. I should also tell you that Felipe Rivero actually owns the accordion. He has the locker next to Marte's, and Felipe's only been playing it for a couple of months. He's been taking lessons, so Marte saw it. Hey, you know, there's a new toy. Let's play with it. So he decided to walk around the clubhouse, into the medical room, and the lounge in the back. And I can't say, guys, that it was music to my ears. But Steve, you know what that's all about, because back in the day, you used to truck in the piano and play a few chords.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Dan. No, yeah, oh yeah. We were into music. We could find something, some old rock and roll song or something that came over the radio in the clubhouse. That all we had was a radio in the clubhouse back then. But Bob Robertson would get involved with it. Not as good as the guys in the dugout pregame, but yeah, all the old Stones, Zeppelin, all that stuff.
So you're pretty musically inclined then?
Listening, yeah, good listener. I actually played the drums when I was in 8th grade, but gave it up.
There's Felipe Rivero, the beginning. What is someone who plays the accordion? Accordionist?
Lawrence Welk?
Yes.
I don't know many people that do the accordion.
Well, that's fun. I heard that today, and I'm thinking, is that an accordion? Is there a polka happening in Thursday afternoon game? Something I didn't know about?
Pittsburgh is a polka town.
Yeah. I play the Pennsylvania polka, right?
Yep. The list goes on and on. There's a polka for every occasion.
We're gonna have to teach Rivero how to play that. We'll get him the music for it.
Well, you know, this day and age, free agency, you got to make sure he sticks around long enough to learn.
Yes. He should be a Pirate for a while, so he'll have time to learn. Been in on Ryan Schimpf. Dickerson with 3 steals over at first.
And Taillon has shown the ability to show any kind of prospective base stealers, whether they be accomplished or not. Different looks out there, holding the set position, quick to home plate, the slide step, the throw over, the step off, all that stuff. So he has come up through the minor leagues at least being aware of the different things you can do. And the more you're aware, the more you practice them, and the more you're going to need them when you get to this level.
Well, we've heard a lot about how the Pirates like to make sure that these guys, when they come up, if at all possible, are polished and ready. And look at this example with Taillon.
Well, he's a rare one, to be quite honest. It's hard to have all that stuff.
Right to first.
Perfect.
They'll get the tag down for 2. What a play by Sean Rodriguez.
And it was right there for him to make, too. The hard hit ball right near the base, almost no more than half a step or a step. And then you got plenty of time to get the ball over to the shortstop. Look at this. Right there. The minute you get that ball in your glove, that should be a double play, and exactly what it was. Reaction. And it's easy. A little bit of a high throw for Jordy to bring down, but plenty of time because Sean did all the right things.
Yeah, no force play after first base is tagged, so you got to tag that lead runner. Pirates turning a lot of double plays here in this series. They got one last night, 3 from Chad Kuhl in the opener, 4 overall.
You know, Tony Watson got a big one late, I believe, in the 9th inning.
Jabari Blash using a face guard here today, a la Ryan Vogelsong.
Right there in the outside corner. Nice delivery by Jamison.
Wonder if it has anything to do with the day game. And 2-2. Well, we're told that's the first time that he's worn that. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know if a day game would make a difference, but you never know. There might be something in the background, but if there was, you know, why haven't we seen it yet? I don't think that does anything for Blair.
Yeah. Vogelsong very much a reason for that. Not sure with Blash.
Well, Ryan has the perfect scenario. He pitched well as a starter last night. He didn't get the win, he got the loss, but it's a great day after you do well as a starter, regardless of the outcome, because you're feeling good about what you did. Nice. Oh, the defense looking a whole lot better this afternoon.
So that leadoff single erased, and it remains 1-0 Pirates. Time now for our Lowe's home field advantage, and the Bucks will be leaving the friendly confines of PNC Park after today's game, but they've been playing well in front of their home fans. 5-0-1 in their last 6 series at home, winning 13 of their last 20 games. They've got the highest winning percentage at home since the start of the 2013 season, so not too bad. And the Renegades always here.
That's not Brett Kiesel?
He was here last night.
Yep, I saw Brett.
That's a nice hat.
That is a bonnet right there. If he's walking toward you, got that hat on, you might want to cross the street.
What is that, a chef's hat of some sort?
Or a cannibal, a cannibal's hat, perhaps. The bones, all is left. It is warm this afternoon, and if that has the same material in that towel we used to have, it used to be like a mixture of, I think, ammonia or alcohol with water. You will confess to anything. It feels so good. It is so refreshing. And then, of course, you got to go back out on the field, and it's hot again. But that is a great thing.
86 and muggy at game time. Getting hotter as the day goes on.
Oh, yeah.
Chad, who is trying to stay cool. Dan pretending to help.
And maybe helping. Yeah, that is the professional look right there, I'll tell you. It's not pretty, but it works.
Is Chad the one that got the nacho guy last night? That was national news.
Yeah.
That was well done.
Why didn't they play Nacho,
Yes,
Nacho
it was.
Man in the background?
I think our camera folks being able to get this stuff that happens in the seats. They're so good at what's happening on the field, they can even find what's happening in the seats too.
They do not miss anything. That's been proven over the years. Exactly right. Here, play this in the back. Nacho, Nacho, man, I want to be a nacho. Was that nachos or just a hot dog?
Oh yeah,
it was everything.
And he just got it. And oh no, he really did get it.
And that's his dress white shirt. That's the dress white T-shirt he wore. Didn't the Pirates take care of him after with a brand new T-shirt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thought that was nice. Got him one for today and one for tomorrow.
We talked about that hook, well placed. He's shown a very good curveball early on, as Friedrich.
Phil Cuzzy on the balls and strikes today. Scott Berry at first base, Adam Hammery at second base, and the crew chief is Tom Halyard. There's Tom. Well, that curve certainly worked for Friedrich.
Yeah, and that wasn't his best one. It was upstairs, but it's in the strike zone. Even though it's upstairs and they don't swing at it, you don't get hurt. You'd rather have that down further. Like that. Fight so far down.
A lot of these ex-Rockies pitchers, you know, that have that curveball. It's funny that sometimes they go on and have better success outside of Colorado.
Oh yeah, yeah. They all come away from Colorado with a better curve.
The air kind of has something to do with it. Some days can flatten it out a little bit, huh?
Yep, in Colorado every day, it seems like. A pitcher's nightmare ballpark.
I always think of Jeff Francis, the lefty, and wonder if he would have had more success if he didn't come from Colorado.
Well, a young man with local ties, former Pirate pitcher Chris Peters, had one of the best starts I've ever seen in Denver. And he was working for the Bucks. It's tough out there. It's tough. His curveball doesn't grab for whatever, I don't know, air, atmosphere, altitude, whatever, thin air.
See, a lot of guys have success with just changing speeds, locating fastball, changeup.
Well, you have to. If the breaking ball doesn't work very well, you gotta adjust. If I was a manager out there, I would never let my starting pitcher watch batting practice. Never let him.
That's
watch.
a great point. It's awesome in the literal sense of the word. Noonan.
Well,
2 away. Now Jameson will take a shot. Hey, school will be starting up soon, so bring your family to PNC Park with the end of summer back to school deal presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. You can purchase an adult ticket in the corner box or outfield box and receive a free kids ticket. This back to school offer good for all remaining games in August. So go to pirates.com/back to school for tickets. Oh, not quite ready for school yet.
Yeah, but what a good looking outfit.
Nancy's got one just like that.
Is that a onesie or a twosie? Or,
Yeah. Nancy's got
I have
one.
a 70s.
I'd like to see you in a one piece. Well, maybe I wouldn't.
You know,
No,
it's been done. It's not nice. Halloween's a big deal for me. I probably have had a onesie or a twosie.
Remind me to be there for that.
No, those days are.
We'll take our Root Sports cameras with us. Taillon still hitless in his major league career. But he has kept the Padres off the board through 2.
Welcome back inside PNC Park. 1-0 Buccos as we move to the third, and it's time for our T-Mobile Greater coverage of baseball, where Dick Enberg, the TV voice of the San Diego Padres, will step away from the microphone this season, ending a professional career that spanned 6 decades and produced 14 Emmys. Last year, he was honored with the Ford C. Frick Award by the National Baseball Hall of Fame. And guys, talk about versatility. He has also called action for football, basketball, boxing, tennis, golf, horse racing, and the Olympics, and he's done all of them with his signature "Oh my" phrase. He'll be missed.
One of the best. The very, very best.
And
he also hosted a TV sports quiz show that would take 3 players from various teams, and after we won the World Series, we competed against the Dallas Cowboys, Don Meredith and 2 other guys. We beat them, and then the Rams threesome eliminated us very quickly right after that. That was fun.
that is fun to know that.
Mark Grant, one of the real good guys you run across. Always looking forward to seeing Mark. He's got a great sense of humor, got a great perspective on the game, and a great play. But Jameson is not able to get over there, and a great snag by Sean Rodriguez over at first base. That was going to be a tough one.
Base hit for Nick Noonan in his first Padres at bat.
Watch Jameson, and I wonder if he just really anticipated that ball going through to right field. So that late start will cost you. It's got to be instinctive, and that's why you practice it every day down in spring training, PFP. And that time, I think they just assumed that ball was going to be through. But it's a reaction from a pitcher. I'll be over there. I'll be over there. You always holler that to your first baseman.
Now Derek Norris with a man on. Norris hitting a 189. Dozen home runs for Norris, a one-time All-Star. Rodriguez gives the look.
So you watch Sean Rodriguez make that play, that pick at first base. They didn't get an out, but it gives you an wherever you put him, he seems to be at least adequate, if not much better than average. It's a great reaction play. This gives you an idea how he plays.
The last few years have been a staple late in games over there at first. His first start at first, though, in about 3 months.
Pretty good lead. And a nice hold at the set position.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, he comes to a set position and stops and really waits a long time before he either delivers the pickoff play to first base or the pitch to home plate. And base stealers get antsy. Not saying that Noonan's going to go anywhere, but in case he's got that in mind, that kind of stops him. And he can't creep also. They like to creep a little bit. They're tricky. They're very devious. They're not nice people that try to steal bases against us. Sneaky.
Pitcher Friedrich scoring the bunt. Only play is on the first. So Noonan at second with 2 gone. And you can save big when you use your Giant Eagle Advantage card this season. Up to $10 off tickets on Sunday home games. All you got to do is show your Giant Eagle Advantage card at the PNC Park ticket windows, or you can go to pirates.com/advantage card. Happy birthday. Cervelli not in the lineup today.
Left wrist issue.
Discomfort. He's got a rash of discomforts around.
Yeah,
should explain what they mean by that. It's just a generic term for
when they don't want you to know. Let's be honest.
Yeah, trying to be a little bit vague on purpose.
Yeah, and everybody does it. It's not just the Pirates. So I just wanted to throw
That's been the
issue.
buzzword.
Yeah, I wanted to
Sure.
throw an issue. We've heard so much discomfort.
No. Hopefully Cervelli is healthy and back active soon.
And Stewart and Glasnow and anybody else who's ailing with issues.
Eric Fryer subbing in as he did last night for the game. There's Glasnow. He'll be going out on a rehab assignment soon. And Glasnow, along with Stewart, going to be joining the Altoona Curve, and Glasnow slated to start on Sunday, so he'll get an extended outing. And Stewart will be in action beginning tomorrow night.
Kind of an easy commute, isn't it?
Yes. Try to get those guys back. Get the Pirates nearly fully healthy. As healthy as one can be at the throes of August. And as we know, over the course of a season, sometimes you get those concerns. He's got that right elbow wrapped up a little bit. Some stuff that can keep you out of action here or there. And a rare walk from Taillon. And last night, a look at our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Cervelli right there on that swing. Something to do with the left wrist. Remember, broke that hamate bone in his left hand on a swing earlier this season.
And when you're swinging a bat with that much torque and effort, there's a lot going on in the hand and the wrist. I don't know if there's any possibility that the hamate could be related to this or not, but he is out of there for now.
Could be mere coincidence. I'm not a medical person.
So we will stay with discomfort.
Will Myers bounced out back in the first. So Jankowski drawing a walk, only the second one issued by Taillon in 32 plus innings.
Yeah, that's a headline.
Talking with Taillon about the walks the other day, he said, hey, I'm not opposed to walking guy if it's the right scenario. Now I don't think he lost Jankowski, but he's not going to just throw one right down the middle to avoid a walk. That's not his game.
And that's the first thing that comes to mind. That whole issue of really good control, because sometimes it's almost tempting to keep that reputation going.
Off the glove of Fryer, and the runners will move up.
I'm not sure what that was all about. I mean, they don't need to talk about it, so it looks like a sign mix up.
It's the pass ball.
Point.
From the wild and the wacky.
Yeah, and that we got a 1-0 ball game, and that's let's hope that's not a big deal.
2-2. They're a strike away from getting out of it, but Padres have their best hitter up.
Yeah, so you go back to that free pass. Jameson certainly not wanting to just work around Jankowski to get to Will Myers, for sure.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2. There's Freese. And they do get out of it. Taillon coolly works around 2 men in scoring position. The Pirates still lead. Hey, kick off your weekend with the Bucks and some of the best bands in the burg during Friday Night Rocks. And get tuned to Pittsburgh's music scene. We'll showcase local artists and tracks throughout every Friday night Pirates broadcast, continuing tomorrow when the Pirates take on the Dodgers right here on Root Sports.
You like going to L.A.? You like
Sure.
Yeah, that city, that ballpark?
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. Now that I'm at my favorite ballpark all the time, it's my favorite one to visit, I think, Dodger Stadium. I'd say it is. 1-0 Pirates.
Well, we're going to make sure we stay up late and watch you guys bring a win home.
Josh Harrison leadoff double. Got the Pirates run across. Three of the first four reached, and then Friedrich has settled down since.
You know, I was looking at the background for Christian Friedrich. The Rockies released him on March 3rd. That's an early cut, isn't it, in spring training?
Yeah.
That's when you're trimming the rosters. And came over to work for the Padres.
Deep, but should stay in the park. Barely. Carried a little bit.
Yeah, there's a following breeze, and that ball had enough height to ride it a little bit, and that ball wound up being maybe a step in front of the home run fence.
Harrison's been peppering that left field wall lately. There's the prevailing breeze. A little bit of a tropical feel today.
And hot, too.
Yes.
Thank goodness for the breeze for the folks down in the stands. Got a nice crowd on hand. A lot of people enjoying daytime baseball.
Yeah, the old business person special, right?
Yep.
You can
walk the plank or walk the bridge over and watch Pirate baseball.
Yeah, take it, Padres. Go walk the plank. Marte swings the bat and gets a base hit. Tried to bunt his way on back in the first. This time with a ground single. And he is always a threat to swipe a base. Andrew McCutchen. Pirates entering play today 2.5 games back of that second and final wild card berth. We've seen the starting pitching start to be a little bit more consistent. Bullpen has been very good for a stretch.
Now we got to start knocking the ball around a little bit.
Which had been the strength early this season.
I think, didn't we lead the league in team batting average for quite a while? I mean,
First 5-6 weeks of the season, somewhere in there, maybe even a little longer than that. And then certainly in that upper tier of offensive teams for maybe the first 2 months or so, or a little longer.
Sometimes you got to out hit them, sometimes you got to out pitch them.
Trying to get everything clicking at once.
Yeah, that's when it's fun, when you got everything. I just go back to, you know, those, every once in a while you find a singular moment, that game that Cole pitched, the complete game, complete in pitching, offense, and defense. I mean, that was the crown jewel so far for me this year in terms of a single ball game.
Well, what's made me a little bit optimistic is that the starters, the last 12 starts coming into today, an ERA of 3.38, which is not going to knock your socks off, but now we're starting to see almost every night we're seeing a very competitive start.
Yeah.
And now if you score a few runs, you should be able to win.
Yeah, it's nice to see that rotation kind of steadying a little bit. Not where we want it, as you said, but it's steadied itself.
Really the longest
we're in free fall for a while.
Yeah, this has been the longest stretch this season where the Pirates have had, and it's only 12 games, but they've really had 9 or 10 consistent starts out of that maybe 12 games or so. And so I think when you look at every component, the bullpen, the starting pitching, the hitting, we've seen the defense be very good at long stretches, last night excluded, of course, but we've seen everything for a period do well. Now, if you can get most of that going in the right direction, there's still a lot of time left, and the Pirates aren't that far behind in the postseason chase. 2-2 with Marte running. Stay out of the double play. McCutchen is out. Otherwise, that may have ended the inning, but Marte now in scoring position with 2 outs.
You look back on last night, in a perfect world, we might have gone into the 10th inning scoreless. Who knows?
Yeah, you don't score, you don't win.
Yeah, but you got to let it go. It's gone. Can't get it back.
You're going to have nights like those. Pirates getting a run quickly, and with a 2-out hit here, maybe David Freese can drive in another. Knocked in Harrison back in the first. This time with Marte and his good speed aboard. Yeah, the way that the wild card picture has worked, it seems like no one's really trying to run away with things except for the Cubs. I mean, they've continued to win. They're extending their lead in the division, but everybody else kind of playing all right. The Cardinals, Mets, Marlins, Dodgers, Giants, all these teams kind of just doing okay. Pirates very much in that mix. You know, a little bit over 500, you know, winning but not running away with anything. So the team that really can put together some wins here might be able to gain some separation, or in the Pirates case, catch up.
And there's still, what, six weeks or so to go where this mix and ebb and flow could continue. But the Cubs had their really downtime for half an hour, and they're back on track. Joe's talking about.
The Dodgers have a pretty good lead in the wild card. They're chasing the Giants, but Marlins losing yesterday. Cardinals won, so they're in the tie. Pirates and Mets in a virtual tie. So the Pirates have to climb over 2 teams to get there. Makes it tough, but with time it can be done. But you got to try to gain that separation. There's a base hit for David Freese.
He's something else to that direction.
He's going to get a 2-out RBI double. He's driven them both in today.
He just pounds the ball with authority in that direction. The first base hit was just a line bullet. This one hit just as hard on the ground down into the corner. He trades places and the Pirates add on. Check the location. High breaking ball, and again, just like his first at bat, you've got to cash that in, and David Freese did just that. High curveball out over the plate. Easy pickings, really, when you think about it. You're frustrated if you don't cash it in.
20th double for David Freese. Now Polanco, the 2-out hit here, might play another run.
And what, two games ago that David Freese had the 3 singles and scored 3 times, and it got under the radar in terms of headlines a little bit because of Polanco's home run.
Great
that
point.
was just a solid performance by David Freese. A big part of that ball game. The 6-4 win, I believe.
He made a couple of nice defensive plays. Broke his bat. Now it's through for a hit. Freese is on his way home, and he will score 3-0 Pirates.
And you love the fact that Polanco broke his bat because the ball just kind of died. It didn't get out to the right fielder quickly, and give Blash any chance at all to get the ball in. A broken bat just kind of slid through the infield, died on the grass. The perfect opportunity for an easy score at home plate.
Look at our Allegheny Health Network Super Mo.
You can see the, yeah, you can, sometimes you can hear the crack of the bat, sometimes you can see the crack of the bat.
Just past Myers.
2-out offense. You just love it. Love it.
RBI number 60 for Polanco.
Three degrees of separation early on.
And the Pirates getting hits with men on, really starting to make innings. Jackson did not allow that yesterday.
You know, Joe, you have the age-old argument: were the Pirate bats that bad last night, or was Jackson that good? I vote for Jackson being really, really good last night. So, you know, you look at a big picture. These guys are trying just as hard when they fail as when they succeed. I mean, people lose track of that. They're trying to hit Jackson last night. They're trying to hit Friedrich today. It's working a little better today because he's not as good as Jackson was last night, in my mind.
Yeah, everyone, and there goes Polanco. He will move up. Holding his right hip or back area there.
In safely at second base, the ball gets away. And Polanco sees that, and his speed gets him there. And grabbed his back or side, and you certainly hope there's no extenuating circumstance to that 90 feet he gained.
May have came off the bag for a moment there. No tag was on. Well, let's see if he's okay. If Mercer can come up with a hit. See if he rounds the bases all right. Now it's foul. David Freese with 2 big hits already. His run scoring single in the first, and then big 2-out single, or double I should say, and then Polanco followed with that single.
They might have been discussing the weather in there. I only say that because you start running the bases in this kind of weather, hot, humid, then okay, yeah. Let me get a breather here for a moment.
Well, it's nice that Polanco got that hit. Let Freese catch up for a moment. Now Polanco wants to do some running.
When there's nobody near him.
Sizable lead.
But the old adage, be sure if you want to take off.
That nice secondary lead too. There's Francisco Cervelli. Came out of the game yesterday with left wrist discomfort.
Between the fence and the camo and all that stuff, yeah, that is him.
Where is he? Mercer takes just outside. Mercer's been so good against lefties throughout his career. Glenn Ertl putting him in the 6th spot today.
And he's been good against lefties. He's got a lefty out there right now that is experiencing a very busy half inning. Busy at bat.
Lofted out to Dickerson. Pirates had 2, both coming with 2 outs, and they lead 3-0.
It's time for the Toyota RAV 4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
David Freese, 2 big hits already. And the Pirates leading 3-0. Polanco driving in a run as well. Love, like you said, love that 2-out offense.
Yep.
Barge making its way.
Well, your dream house is heading down the river.
Nice peaceful life, huh? Just working the waterways. Great afternoon to do it. Great afternoon to be at the ballpark too. Warm and muggy, but very summer-like. Get out there and enjoy a nice beverage.
Enjoy it because the summer is moving on.
Doesn't last forever. Solarte running that one out. And he is out to start the 4th. Let's look at some Point Park tweets as David Freese coming through with that 2-out double, adding onto that single as well.
A lot to work with when you got the last name Freese, and then you got the summer for contrast, and the heat, Freese.
Taillon, 2 quick outs.
Boy, do you love that, with the opportunity to have a very quick top of the 4th when you're out there working in the hot sun. Get a tidy 1, 2, 3 quick inning. That is a bonus, trust me.
I'm going to use a word to describe Taillon. This is meant as a huge compliment. He's boring. He just goes out, gets outs, and the inning continues, and you don't think about him. No, you don't put a lot of guys on. Doesn't really give up home runs very often. Doesn't strike out a ton of guys either. So it's just kind of
as long as you explain it, the background of it.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by it. It just, you know, all right, I'm just going to get my 6, 7 innings, 8 innings. The team's going to have the lead probably, and good night.
Who was the most boring? Probably Greg Maddux.
He was very boring. He was very, very boring. That's good. I mean, that's exactly what you want to be as a pitcher. And what, you know, and it's been so fun to see Taillon come up. You know, those 2 years, everyone talking about it in spring training. Well, he had 2 lost seasons to injury, and he took umbrage to that. He did not like characterizing those as lost years. 2-out walk here to Schimpf.
Well, you understand the fans' perception. He didn't pitch for 2 years, you know, so they're thinking that. It wasn't that he was not busy. He was extremely busy and
studying the game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Learning finer points of the game, working on things that maybe if he couldn't throw, he would do something. You know, learning about maybe holding on runners, for instance, or something.
Yeah, he didn't waste the time. He certainly didn't. But trust me, he would have rather been pitching. It has to be agony at times when you're on the way up, you're on the fast track. Everybody's talking about you. You want to be out there. But, he didn't sit back.
Scott Berry says no swing. Taillon has walked a couple of batters today. And then there's Jabari Blash. We're told that he got hit in the face in AAA, and so ordered a helmet to protect his face. It just came in today, so that's why he's starting to wear it. And just barely back in.
You would think in the big leagues, if a guy got hit in the face and you're going to have a face guard, it would be back there within a day.
It seemed like there's quite a delay with that.
The attempt at first base, close but no out call. The hand, the glove, our super Mo, and are we going to look at it? Would we take a look at that? Doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Very, very close. By the way, with that runner on, Taillon has walked 2 batters in a start for the 3rd time this season. That encompasses all of his AAA starts as well. So He has not walked 3 in any start this year, Indy or otherwise. Ball, 2 strikes on Glash.
Just missing, but there's the hook. The great curveball that we know and love from Jameson Taillon.
First strikeout of the day, and he's just rolling right along with the Pirates up 3-0. Day in Pirates history back in '66. Bucks came back to beat the Mets 7-5 at Forbes Field. Roberto Clemente tying the game with a single in the bottom of the 9th that scored Matty Alou, and then Willie Stargell with a game-winning 2-run home run. Elroy Face got the win.
Yeah, the Baron of the bullpen. He had a couple. Not everybody has 2 nicknames: the Baron of the bullpen and Sam Spade. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just Bob Prince had names for everybody.
Got to see Elroy Face around opening day. That was a great thrill for me. I've always read a lot about him growing up and really admired his pitching. Really one of the first bullpen aces.
Yeah. Well, he was.
Maybe the first real noted one, right?
He credits Joe Page when he talks about great relievers. Does Elroy? Great respect for Joe Page.
Remember, that was in an era before the save was even thought of as a statistic.
Elroy had that fork ball, and I don't know. It'd be fun to show it. We got a baseball up here because he would carry it around sometimes just to make sure that he had the separation of the fingers, and it was just a downer. He threw it as hard as he could, and it just couldn't go fast.
Neither can this ball, and that will help Sean Rodriguez beat out a base hit.
Perfect. Just far enough away from the catcher and the third baseman and the pitcher. Leadoff work. So you take the ball like this, and you separate it down. The old split finger was like that, but Elroy would down in his fingers would go so wide, and he would carry around a baseball. And I
can't do that.
It hurts. It hurts. I have to stop now. But he would have it, and then he would just throw it straight down, and the ball would kind of come out with here almost with a backspin, and just the bottom would fall out. And it's an off-speed pitch. There's all kind of off-speed pitches in the forkball. One of the names, the pound ball, the circle change, all of them designed just to throw as hard as you can to show the batter that you're throwing hard, but it can't go fast because of the way you grip it. It got to be, he was so consistent. It was a boring presentation. Boringly wonderful. And you're right about Taillon. Yep. When you're just cooking along, hey,
Yeah.
how's the weather? How's the weather?
Yeah, pretty much assume that Elroy Face is going to get the job done. It's all right.
Good. To the tune of 18-1 in 1959.
All out of the bullpen. You win 18 as a starter these days. That's unusual. There's Eric Fryer with a base hit. Big turn for Rodriguez. That snaps an 0 for 14 for Fryer. Nice situation here with 2 men on, and Taillon can bunt him over.
Perfect. Out over the plate, and Friedrich has been hurt with stuff upstairs and out over the plate, whether it's a left-hand hitter or right-hand hitter. Upstairs is a tough neighborhood unless you're throwing 97, 98, 96 miles an hour.
Pirates have collected 7 hits. They managed just 2 last night. Taillon has only given up 2 so far to San Diego. Pulling the bunt back. I don't know if he just didn't want to bunt at it or if he was going to swing away if it was a good pitch.
The Padres are trying to get their act together in terms of what they're going to do, whether they use a wheel play and sell out to get the out at third base or just take an out that's available.
Taillon 0 for 15. Might just be trying to put a doubt in the minds of the Padres.
No.
Not a bad swing, though, but the runners will stay put.
That might have been one of the best swings we've seen him have so far. Sometimes it works that way. You don't have that much time to think. You just got to react. Garrett Cole's done that deal successfully. Squares around the slug bunt, takes it back. Good wood on the ball. Almost sliced it away from Blash in right field.
I think the tell might have been he was choking up on the bat when he was trying to bunt for it, so maybe that was the sign that they would swing away.
It helps when you're choked up on the bat. Helps you make contact many times, especially if you're a pitcher.
Josh Harrison, that's through. Rodriguez coming around to score, and the Pirates add to their lead. It's 4-0.
And still very much in business. Nicely done, putting base hits together instead of the separation every once in a while. You just kind of stack them up, and it's amazing how quickly the runs can mount up. Nothing fancy about it, just a ground ball that is out of the reach. Check it out. Ground ball. Out of the reach of the pitcher, out of the reach of the shortstop. The Pirates reach home plate again.
Well, Fryer, a pretty decent runner, able to get the third on that too.
That's how close or not so close that Newton got to that ball.
Now fly ball could score Fryer even. Rodriguez getting the start today. Bucks on the pond for Starling Marte. On the base hit his last time. 8 hits for the Pirates. Trying to take this series. Pirates took 2 out of 3 against Cincinnati. Trying to do so here against San Diego.
Off to a good start.
Mets are trailing at home 3-0 in the 6th. Arizona.
Josh always smiling when the Bucks are doing well.
Good percentage
And Mr. Friedrich now on a very short leash as the pitches continue to mount, as does the score.
Had a 1-2-3 second inning against the bottom of the order. And there's Carlos Villanueva getting up. This time around, starting with the bottom of the order. Friedrich has not fared so well. The Pirates getting their third looks already. Fryer at third, Harrison on at first.
And you know, you can't really call this a feeding frenzy, Joe, but as you know, you have a sense that Friedrich's kind of on the ropes. You don't know how much longer his afternoon is going to be. You're putting some hits together. Maybe get up to home plate a little quicker. You're ready to go. Pirates, rather that gut feel, they're rolling a little bit here, and you want to see how long they can keep it rolling.
Got Harrison picked off.
Okay, here's the dance. Coming to home, and the Padres pull it off. They do the rundown well between first and second, keeping track of the runner at third base.
So a 1-3-6-3-2 putout. Goes down as a caught stealing. No steal for Harrison because the lead runner caught.
And the Padres keep track of everything. And Fryer does run well, but when you do it properly, they'll commit, make the throw, the home plate. It's pretty routine.
And the difference is Myers was the one to throw him out at home plate. That ball a lot closer to home at that point, rather than when Noonan fielded the ball. He was a little bit farther away, closer to the second base bag. Padres, who had a straight steal of home yesterday, Pirates trying to do a double steal, as it turned out, a delayed double steal. They're going to need another 2-out hit here. Second time this year that Jankowski has stolen home. The other one was on a double steal.
A little different category.
Slowly rolled and trouble. And Harrison again caught in a pickle. Well, what looked to be a big inning for the Pirates, they still do get a run, and they lead 4-0. As the Pirates, though, lead 4-0 on our UPMC scoreboard. And thinking that Noonan would not pay attention. Sure enough, involved in the last couple of plays. Harrison was trying to take that extra base.
Well, it is entertaining for the fans to watch all this. Trying to fake them out, but eventually running out of gas. And the whole thing kind of was started when Noonan could not get a handle on the ball. I don't know if he's going to have an out at first base or not, but when he couldn't get a grip, then he started to look around, and Josh had committed.
And Marte awarded a hit.
Good chance he would have, yeah.
That's the right call. But how many times does a guy make a play, lead off the next inning?
All the time. Just happens 8 or 9 nights a night. 8 or 9 times a night.
Marte with 2 hits now. Harrison with 2 hits today as well. And Noonan got an infield hit his first time as a Padre. Jameson Taillon, 52 pitches here in the 5th. Very nice number. Giving up 2 singles and 2 walks.
Got another run to work with as the Pirates turned things upside down, and now they have a 4-0 lead. That's how the Padres ended it last night. There's that 95-mile-an-hour fastball that I've been impressed with lately. As we said in the open, I've always liked the curveball, but it's complementing it very nicely upstairs with some heat.
And a no man's land out there and left. Hey, you can personalize your experience at PNC Park with the official MLB.com ballpark app. The free app includes daily game info and ballpark maps, seat upgrades, and the chance to purchase exclusive memories. Plus, you can unlock special offers at the ballpark when you check in. Visit the iTunes Store or Google Play Store to download today. That's what it looks like. Eric Norris flat out his first trip.
Nicely done. I think you mentioned that Jameson has not won in this ballpark, but the Pirates have won with a lot of his starts here, which is the big deal.
Yeah, they're 4-1 in his 5 starts here at PNC Park. You and I always bicker over whether wins matter. And you know, pitcher wins. Now, do the team wins matter? That's all that matters. But whether the pitcher is awarded the win or not. And Taillon's pitched well in these games, but you know, circumstances after he's left the game have prevented him from winning.
Well, yeah, of course, the big picture is how many wins the team gets. But you as a pitcher, you want to get your W's, of course, and you got to earn them. Simple as that. You got to get some help with some offense, some defense. You're the man that's got to do your job first and foremost, because that's all you can control. Everybody else has their own jobs.
Yeah. Now the problem is that no one completes games anymore, or even really comes close to it. So there's so much that.
But the deeper you go into games, the better chance you have of picking up your win. And so you look at decisions. A lot of times you look at decisions.
Point, yeah.
The more decisions you have, the more it tells me the deeper you're going into ball games.
Mosher handles that hot cleanly. 2 gone, and let's go back to our studios. Rob King's got a game break. I would like to say it's weird to see John Neese in a Mets uniform, but it's pretty much the only uniform he's worn in his career.
It's one of the all-time great baseball names too in that game. Tuffy Goosewich.
Goeswich.
Goeswich goes deep.
Sounds like a nice lunch, something to have for lunch, right? Diamondback catcher. Well, that helps the Pirates if that score ends up holding, because If the Pirates win today, then they'll actually separate themselves from the Mets and put them behind them in the wild card chase. Still trailing the Cardinals and Marlins. Marlins off today. Cardinals begin a series at Wrigley Field tonight.
Well, we saw Taillon at his best against the Mets. He's got a chance to be in that neighborhood if he keeps things going today, and he's rolling. He's got it going on. Good fastball, good live fastball, 94, 95, and the Tyrone Shoelaces hook.
Quite frankly, with a lineup with this many rookies and unproven guys, I think this is what we expect. A pitcher that, you know, of Taillon's caliber, Vogelsong last night. You know, you should limit this team offensively on most nights. And the Pirates, you know, they've been able to do that. Cool. 2 runs in 6 innings. 2 unearned runs for Vogelsong yesterday, and now Taillon has worked 5 shutout frames against San Diego. Yeah, the Pirates bats have been going today. They're up 4-0.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Colorado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. With express service, you're in and out in no time. Visit barrelservice.com to find the location near you. Let's go Bucks!
Now let's see who.
Think it's a little warm in there in those outfits.
Wow.
Burt, just big finishing kick. He should be down in Rio. Wonder if they know much about pierogies in Rio.
If not, they should.
Yeah, they should. Take a look at the scoreboard. Looking good behind Jameson Taillon. And he had the perfect scenario, Joe, in the 5th inning, because as a starter, you know, it's a little mile marker for you. You get to the 5th, it takes you into the second half of the ball game, qualifies you for a win. And to have your opportunity in the top of the 5th for the bottom third of the batting order. I mean, things really are coming into place for Jameson this afternoon, and he's getting it done.
Not an extra base hit to be found from this Padres lineup against Taillon. Meanwhile, the Pirates have collected 9 hits. Andrew McCutchen looking for his first. He's also walked today. Everybody but, let's see, McCutchen's drawn a walk. Mercer's 0 for 2, and Taillon is 0 for 2. Everybody else with a hit through 4 innings against Friedrich. Solarte able to record the leadoff man out, leadoff out, I should say, here in the 5th inning. Well, David Freese will not get a chance to bat with a man on He's come through with a couple of big hits today. One of the highest batting averages against left-handed pitching in baseball.
I remember back in spring training, Joe, when we found out that David Freese was going to be a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. That was a good news day.
Well, thinking about you know, the games that he's played, you know, we talked a lot about Ryan Vogelsong last night being a winner, being with the Giants, winning World Series. David Freese is a winner, but you got to also play well. You could be a winner and not really do much anymore, and that's fine. Well, David Freese has been very, very good, as well as being a winner, and can bring those other things that maybe we don't think about on a daily basis. I'm talking to some of these young guys as they come up. Pulled the ball that time.
Yep, that one didn't work out. You think about the overall persona of David Freese. He's not a demonstrative guy. He's not a guy that makes a lot of noise. But sometimes those kind of guys have a spectacular moment in their life or two. So a lot of the journeymen, the good pros like David Freese, don't get the headlines. He had the spotlight in that postseason for the Cardinals. So you get to know him a little bit, but a lot of times these guys go through careers, rock solid careers, without making a lot of fireworks and stuff. And he's kind of that kind of guy. So you're happy for him that he did have that moment in the moon. I can't say the sun because there were night games, but he did have his time in the spotlight, and that's most deserving for those kind of players.
Growing up in the St. Louis area, doing it for his hometown club, but thought he handled himself so well when the Pirates made their first trip back to St. Louis, and said, I'm very happy to be a Pirate now. I'll acknowledge how much he loved playing for the Cardinals, loving St. Louis, etc. But he has put everything into being a Pirate. The question is now, as we move along, and as the Pirates move along at this season, will the Pirates bring him back? He signed a one-year deal.
What's the future hold for anybody anymore?
It lies in question,
it's hard
doesn't
to
it?
predict. Yeah. But just to flesh it out, he had the game tying home run in the 9th, and then the winning home run in the 10th. Was it 2 home runs or just an extra?
He had that triple. Off the wall over Nelson Cruz. Cruz didn't play it very well out there, but still he smacked it out to right off of Feliz. The Rangers were a strike away from winning the World Series, and then in the 11th he led off.
So the triple tied it, and then the home run won it.
In the 11th, yeah.
So we have the details right. I remember the spectacular work late.
It was the night before I got married, so I remember that game very vividly.
You were watching baseball?
Yeah, I couldn't sleep, so I might as well watch the game, right? Game 6 of the World Series. All right.
Well, everything worked out for David Freese and the Cardinals, and everything worked out for you.
Yes. Yeah. I'd say. Polanco working the count in his favor here. And Solarte calling for it. So Friedrich issues a 1-2-3 inning. 6th coming up. Pirates shutting out the Padres 4-0. great shots there on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. And the most beautiful ballpark in America. 4-0. Pirates trying to take this series, make it a 4-2 homestand before they hit the road against a couple of tough squadrons from out west.
Yep, California dreaming. You'll be working and I'll be dreaming. No, I'll watch as much as I possibly can. I don't make every inning of those West Coast deals, but with you in spirit.
Yeah, the late starts. We appreciate you tuning in. Maybe the third shifters, give them something. Of course, it'll be Pirates' last trip to LA with Vin Scully on the mic. In his last season.
This is it. But my favorite story with Vin Scully, the first time I went to Dodger Stadium to broadcast, you have a lunch line in the press room. I was behind him, and listening to him order his lunch was like ordering a salad and describing the landing at Anzio. I mean, it was just magic. I'm standing behind, he's ordering a salad, and I'm enthralled. Just still, you know, listening to that voice and hearing him talk about his approach as a young broadcaster and then as a veteran. There's a 4-3, should be okay. And I try to keep it simple. And he said, I was talking to a group and giving advice. They asked me advice. I said, imagine yourself in the backyard and there's a fence between you and your neighbor. Something's happening in your yard and he can't see it. Tell him what's going on.
And he stopped.
He stopped the sentence. Just magical. Through young years, listening to him as just a young baseball fan, when you got a treat to hear him on occasion, and then to see him working, watching him walk into Dodger Stadium, it's like an entrance. Makes a great entrance. Always impeccably dressed, and just golden tones.
Yeah, he just Dave, I'd like some garbanzo beans, please. You know, just something like that. And you know, wow.
We'll send out to the fields of California to make sure they're fresh.
Dan Potash has some more. You grew up in that area. Did you watch and listen?
Well, it's funny you should say that. Actually, growing up in Los Angeles when I was a kid, sometimes they would simulcast the games, and sometimes the announcers would do a couple innings on radio and then come back. Well, I would basically go to bed listening to Vin or watching Vin on TV, and my dad would make fun of me and say, what are you doing? Why don't you listen to him on the radio? You can go to sleep. I said, I'm watching him on TV. He goes, no, he's actually watching the game on radio for you. His play-by-play is so good, it'll be like watching the game while you're listening on the radio. And he was right. The picture he would paint was that cool and that unbelievable every night. So I stopped watching. I would just listen to him on the radio. It was really great.
How about Dan? Dan coming in from the West Coast with the shades. I mean, he's got it going on. SoCal guy.
Well, it's a little bright out here today.
Hey.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun growing up listening. I also, for that matter, Chick Hearn with the Lakers, same thing.
Yeah.
It was really, I was spoiled as a kid growing up.
A couple of legends, no doubt. And I had the great fortune of working near Vin for the Dodgers for one season, and just being around him every day was so neat because he is as gentlemanly as you think.
How about 3 up, 3 down for Mr. Tyone? Tying one together this afternoon.
7 in a row sent down by the Pirates rookie. Stay tuned after the post game today for the latest Inside Pirates baseball. And on this week's episode, Sean Rodriguez takes some swings. And Matt Joyce mic'd up for a golf outing. There he is. And much more coming up on Inside Pirates baseball. Presented by Allegheny Health Network today after post game right here on Root Sports. What a beautiful afternoon. 4-0 Pirates on the UPMC scoreboard. It is warm, it is muggy, but it is summer and it is beautiful. Well, there it is. Remind you of some of the turf. Is Danny and Troy trying to stay cool? Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that is smoking. Hey guys, but you don't have to be bothered by wind.
No breeze up there. It's 98 degrees up there.
98.6. That towel, your friend, the towel.
There's not enough charge into that. He's the first out.
You know, this game is kind of taking the appearance in an opposite way of last night. What is it? 4-0 final. Jackson had given up 2 hits. Taillon has given up 2 hits. Padres are not on the board. We weren't on the board. So the scales have tipped so far.
Ryan Vogelsong pitching very well last night.
And that's there's not much to take out of the game except that. And you get the big picture. If you get starters that keep doing that, you're going to win most of those games when you get the start that we got from Ryan last night.
Hey, like 6 shutout innings on 2 singles. That's what Taillon has put up so far, and still plenty of room to keep going if needed. Just 76 pitches even on this hot day. The Pirates have talked about how they gauge innings, and with Taillon being a young pitcher who has not pitched the last 2 seasons, they want to limit innings, but that would not be quite the correct characterization. They want to limit the hard innings, the tough innings, the long innings where he's really laboring out there. They have a way of keeping track of how that is.
I'd like to see how that's gauged.
Yeah, and Taillon has been able to pitch longer in ball games and has been able to continue to pitch this season because he very seldom has those really rough and difficult innings.
Boring.
He's boring.
Wonderfully boring.
It's exactly what you want.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Every manager, every pitching coach, heck, every fan. Give me some boring.
Yeah. Comes in off a half inning and there's really not much to discuss. Sit down, get a towel, and get your breath.
10-pitch inning. Keeping the club in the game, and in this case in the lead. Rocketed by Rodriguez right at Dickerson for the second out.
You cannot hit the ball much harder than Sean just hit it. That sound, that definitive sound.
Well, 5 in a row sent down by Friedrich. And a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Okay.
So Taillon will come up if the inning continues. And a little trouble, and a nice recovery by Friedrich. So he sent down 6 straight Pirates, but Bucco's still on top. start here back in the first inning. David Freese coming through. The 1-out single. Got the Pirates on top for the first time starting off. That hanger for a double. Driving in Starling Marte. Second run batted in. Polanco broke his bat and drove in Freese. Pirates up 3-0. They lead 4-0 thanks to some stalwart pitching from the right-hander.
Yeah, and a nice double play. That always helps on a hot afternoon. Glove work. Brady Mercer, we're used to seeing him pick it at short. And Taillon working right along. And what's interesting, too, about Jameson, he's considered a power guy. He's struck out 2 batters today. He's done a whole lot of pitching. A whole lot of pitching, not throwing, pitching.
Yeah, you don't need to necessarily strike everybody out, right? I mean, I think we've kind of fallen in love with the strikeout. It's so prevalent in baseball these days. We've never seen strikeouts in the kind of numbers that we have.
Oh yeah, obsessed with speed, pitch count, how fast a guy can throw, upper 90s, whatever. Let's not forget about the plain old business of getting outs. Another good start.
As Vin Scully would say, a can of corn there. And let's look at some Point Park tweets from Taillon. He has really been the talk as a rookie. And just I like what Todd says there. It's like he's been an ace for 6 years.
He deserves some recognition. Some guys have come up through minor leagues, you know, ballyhooed, and got your eye on him. He's got the target on him, can't miss, potential, all that. It doesn't work out for everybody, and there's no guarantee that it's going to be a 20-year career for Taillon. But right now, he looks like he is ready to pitch in the big leagues, and then some.
Well, you look at what the Pirates are trying to do, and that's trying to get into the postseason for the 4th consecutive season. They need guys that can help them win right now, and one of those guys happens to be, in this case, Taillon, a rookie. And we've seen several rookies contribute this year. He's his 3rd strikeout.
He's just grooving. I mean, it's one of those kind of zones you get into when you're pitching like this. You want the sign from the catcher. Let me know what you want, and I'm probably not going to shake you off too much because I'm confident in just about anything I can throw. So if you want to put down a finger, fine. If you want to put down 2 or 3, okay, yeah, I got that too for you. It's not a common zone. I mean, you don't have it all the time. It seems like Jameson has it right now.
I think maybe, as Ray Surridge would probably attest, you know, we've talked a lot about Tyler Glasnow as well, and we've seen him very briefly. We've seen a lot more of Taillon so far. And Glasnow throwing harder, and you can see even harder than Taillon. But that changeup, where do you think that separates, say, Taillon right now and where Glasnow, if he can continue to refine that changeup, having that 3rd pitch we keep hearing so much about?
You mean for Taillon?
No, for Glasnow, how it would help him, because his changeup clearly isn't where Taillon's is right now.
And we don't see a lot of Jameson's changeup, really. Do you have any idea how many he's thrown today? I mean, it's hard to estimate. I've seen more of the fastball, obviously, and curve. Yeah, a 3rd pitch helps. It's going to help, even if Jameson gets better with it.
He's thrown it about 1 out of every 5 pitches today, so
he has thrown that many.
I got all the lefties in there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. Boy, he's just been so
more than I've
boring that you don't even know. Kind of sneaks him in there. Hasn't gotten a lot of swings and misses on it today. Hasn't needed to. A lot of soft contact. And 10 in a row sent down by Taillon. Padres without a hit since the 3rd. And we'll stretch 4-0 Pirates.
very often. He did on Saturday, and he actually got too much pine tar on his jersey. He had to make a quick change, and the only jersey available was a generic one that said player across the back and the number 91. So fellow pitcher John Edwards decided to have some fun and labeled himself as player number 2 while in the dugout. Eventually, the right jersey would get to the right man with the right number, but I guess you can never have enough backups, right?
That was a funny instance.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great that kind of thing can still happen.
Every now and then.
Light moments.
Andy Green discussing how this will go forward here. Jameson Taillon is going to go forward after 7 strong innings and 88 pitches. And he'll face Carlos Villanueva.
13 home runs. Remember the jumps out. Yep. 13 home runs out of the bullpen will get your attention.
Not a hard thrower. Kind of used the long relief and has been for the last several years. Only 32 years old.
Yeah, we said that about Edwin Jackson last night too.
Padres have the market cornered on well-traveled right-handers, right?
Yep. So Friedrich goes 6 innings, gives up 9 hits, 4 runs. He walked the batter and struck out 2.
And recovered nicely to give him a couple of more innings to save him for that Mets series. And with Taillon batting.
Ah, what a wonderful look. Wonderful look.
It's a ghost town out there.
So Friedrich kind of heading down the same road that Ryan Vogelsong did last night. Pitched well.
Taillon hitless in his 17 career at bats now. MLB.TV. Subscribe to it if you're on the road, or maybe you want to watch your Bucks while you're traveling. It's MLB.TV Premium for live or on-demand baseball on more than 400 supported devices, and you get real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, blackouts, and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV and get all the details. Pirates lead 4-0, scoring those 4 runs off Friedrich in the first 4 innings. Pirates have collected 9 hits. Two of those coming off the bat of Josh Harrison, including a run-scoring single in the 4th. Kids out here today on a Thursday afternoon.
And why not? You know, baseball in the afternoon, get some snacks, watch some baseball, sit in the sun with mom or dad or both, or brother or sister.
Well, he's got a Bob Walcat on. The kid in the middle there. Good to see. Oh, look at that. There's a yellow jacket from Georgia Tech. Bob got stung by a bunch of yellow jackets.
Yeah, yes, he did.
Last week.
Yes, he did.
He does not want to see that hat. No, he does not.
Just keep your balance, Bob. Everything's going to be fine.
Now he's got it.
Okay, I'm busted. Yeah.
Hope it stays on that hat.
Yeah.
The dangers of mowing one's lawn.
Well, I was happy to give that young lad the hat for the game today. He doesn't know why I did it, but I think Robert does. Yeah, the kid's having a great time.
Now 3-2 on Harrison. it over. And 2 away, so the Pirates going quiet here last few innings against the Padres. And the way that Taillon has pitched, you don't think that they have an uprising in them, but 4 runs, you'd still like to add some insurance here.
I don't think you ever feel secure, 4-0, completely secure. It can give you the perception when a guy has been as dominant as Jameson has been, but every once in a while, a dose of reality, and you wish you had more. But boy, it's looking like 4 is a lot right now.
1 feels like a lot the way that Taillon has pitched so far.
He's close to duplicating what he did against the Mets in New York. That was 8 innings with 2 hits of scoreless baseball.
If he's able to do so, it'll be the 2nd time this year that he's recorded an out in the 8th inning. Yeah, that Mets outing, you got to think, was his best outing, certainly with the Pirates.
Oh, yeah.
And he's about there again today. Villanueva just flipped up a below the speed limit curveball right there.
Yep, 60 miles an hour. That's the old gravity ball. And there's a good breaking ball to follow it.
And 82 looks awfully fast.
Used to be our favorite pitches as kids. The gravity ball, the anti-wobbler. I mean, we had names. Of course, had names for everything we were doing as a kid playing ball. Remember being a kid, batter, batter, batter,
Yeah.
batter, all the stuff you'd holler out.
None of that in the big leagues, huh?
Yeah. Come on, Jimmy.
That'd be funny if someone, Marte's up there. Hey, Carlos. Hey, we need a pitcher, not a belly itcher. Or say that kind of stuff.
Can't see it, you can't hit it. Or the other thing you'd hear, I don't want to play right field.
I had no option. 1, 2, 3 inning. 9 in a row sent down by the Padres. It doesn't matter though. Jameson Taillon, 7 shutout frames and going back out for the 8th.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
And Jameson Taillon riding a shutout so far. 4-0 Pirates on top, trying to take the series.
Yeah, kind of neat out there in the 8th inning, facing the bottom third of the batting order. That's again, no guarantee, but that's not a bad place to be at this point in the ballgame. This is played out this way 3 times: 3rd, 5th, now the 8th. 7, 8, and 9 coming up.
And only Nick Noonan has gotten aboard out of that bottom trio. An infield hit back in the 3rd. That was the last hit given up by Taillon.
This will be pitch number 90 to be delivered.
He's thrown as many as 102 in the start, whether at AAA or with the Pirates. That came in his last start.
Bounces a curve up there and fouls it up with a nice delivery right at the bottom of the strike zone. Good location.
And about 2/3 first pitch strikes. It's a good number right there. And a hot day too. Hasn't looked fatigued yet. Good endurance. In the swing and miss on Noonan.
Still getting enough heat to get it by him. 95 miles an hour according to the gun.
Like to see that in the 8th.
Going upstairs again with confidence. Thank you.
And a strikeout for Taillon here in the 8th.
Yep, can't stay away from the low hook after the high fastball. Nice 1-2 punch delivered by Jamison. And you know, he's out there, and what you look at a lot of young pitchers is not to get ahead of themselves. Try to get all 3 outs in a later inning with 1 pitch. You know, be patient. Take your pitch by pitch by pitch. Threw a bad breaking ball to start off that at bat and comes back and records the strikeout. He doesn't seem to be a young pitcher that gets too far out ahead of himself. He lives and pitches in the moment. It's good.
Here's Derek Norris. Steve, you're right on. I was talking with him about that a couple of starts ago. And yeah, he's very present in what's the next pitch to make. And I would imagine out there on that mound when there is trouble, and there was very little trouble today, but there was some, that helps you. Just a 3rd hit allowed by Taillon today.
And that was a pitch that was down underneath the strike zone. Where'd that come from?
Every now and then, a little something here.
Check this location. Goes down underneath, gets some lift. Wallace is going to pinch hit.
He was excellent as a pinch hitter last year. Now Neftali Feliz.
Just in case.
Throw, yeah.
Again, it's a 4-0 baseball game.
Wallace hitting .195 against righties this year with 6 home runs. A little power.
What's going on with Jamison too, and any pitcher, regardless of your age, you get into the 8th inning. Yeah, sure, you're tired, but you've got a little adrenaline working on too. You know, you're getting closer to the finish line. You're probably going to just work this inning if you are able to complete it. Adrenaline helps.
2-0 on Wallace.
Now, with 1 out, we'll keep an eye on the Pirate dugout. If he does lose Wallace, then let's see what the Pirates have in mind. What Clint Hurdle, Ray Searage will do. But let's see if we can get a ground ball right here.
Wallace does not run well.
Oh, how about that? You love that. Hit it right on the button. You're trying to work your way through an 8th inning. You're dragging a little bit, and the line drive that is well hit is right at your right fielder. That's when you're going good.
That's one of the hardest hit balls today by the Padres. Still wasn't crushed.
Yep. And that perhaps is the pitch right there that buys you 8 innings, eight full innings.
Yeah, you feel like this is probably Taillon's last batter. If he gets him out, that's it. If not, Feliz time, all good. Jankowski 0 for 2 with a walk. Taillon has been masterful today.
And again, you don't want to. He knows this. He knows that this is going to be his last deal. So He's trying not to get out in front of himself and rush to get this out. It would complete his afternoon.
His 100th pitch fouled away.
And it didn't look like anything was rushed or urgent or out of whack. That delivery, that looked still smooth. You know, letting the arm catch up with the body and all that sort of thing that you think about, because it's easy to get out in front and try to have your body help your arm at this point because you're tired.
I love how the Pirates have left him in. He's been so effective.
Oh yeah. There it is. How about 2 line drives with the lid on it, Jameson?
He's going to complete 8 strong innings, 8 shutout innings against the Padres. How about Jameson Taillon here today? Folks, this is about as good as it gets. Jameson Taillon, sturdy and efficient all afternoon long.
8 scoreless.
Getting some defense behind him.
Yep. Rock solid work. Already a couple of really nice plays. He had to back up and take a hop earlier in the ball game and winds around that one, and a lot of Jameson Taillon this afternoon.
And that's going to be it for his day. What a day it was.
Yeah, 3 hits, a couple of walks, but no runs issued. That'll do a nice piece of work for that ERA along with everything else that he's going to feel good about. It all starts with your starter. Good looking line score, UPMC. Bring you all that nice and tidy. And now Leonel Campos, who we saw earlier in the series, will come on to work the bottom of the 8th inning.
Taillon's ERA lowered to 2.85. First 10 big league starts.
Always nice to bump it under that 3 mark. Well, these days it's nice to bump it under the 4 mark, but even better to bump it under the 3 mark.
Yeah, that's awfully good. And usually, what guys start their career, then they start figuring out the game and get better. Well,
you hope.
Even if he doesn't ever get any better than this, Pirates will take this forevermore. Eric Fryer, the 6th different catcher to catch Taillon today.
I didn't see too many head shakes, shaking off signs by Taillon. At this point, a very solid baseball game being played by the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, really the contrast to last night in terms of the defense was wobbly early.
You know, it'll be interesting too, Joe, that yeah, in contrast to last night, and then tomorrow, today is gone.
Exactly.
Either way, they are behind you, wins, losses. Time to crank it up for another anthem and another baseball game tomorrow night against the Dodgers.
And you know, the Pirates have been winning series, and that's really what you want to do. Still think they've got to find a stretch where they'll run off a bunch of wins. And we were looking at this stretch of games here where they're playing all these sub 500 teams. If they win today, it'll be 10-10 in that stretch.
I'm looking for 14-6 out of the next 20 games. How about that?
Now they're going to have some tough foes, but again, when you look on paper, it doesn't matter because they took 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers here last time around. So you don't know. The Dodgers are a very good team too. So we look on paper, we try to figure it out, and half the time it doesn't work. But yeah, a little stretch like that, Steve. Yeah, 14-6.
See where that bounces you into September.
Yeah, get into that playoff position and then stay there. Try to avoid injury if possible. Hopefully Cervelli will be back soon.
Well, that is the wild card. Who's going to stay healthy, who's not? Key injuries for contending ball clubs.
Stewart will go out on rehab tomorrow, enjoying the Altoona curve.
Think they're going to carpool him and Glasnow?
Yeah, maybe so.
Out Route 22.
I've still yet to be to go to Altoona. I'm looking forward. Maybe
time tonight. Just get in the car from here.
Well, I gotta go to Los Angeles.
Well, you can get. It's a night game tomorrow night. Get a flight.
With all the travel that went haywire the other day around the nation, I think I'm going to stick with the club.
Yeah. Commercial flying right now, so a little iffy.
Hey, speaking of tomorrow, after the game, the Pirates heading out to L.A. and then to San Francisco on a 6-gamer. And you can see the Pirates take on the Dodgers tomorrow at 9:30 with Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason right here on Root Sports. Ivan Nova building off of a strong Pirates debut. 3 runs over 7 innings. His first start as a National Leaguer. Get his first look against the Dodgers. David Freese, 2 big hits today. And down on strikes here for the second out. The Pirates without a base runner since the 4th inning, but this 4-0 lead holding up, and it looks like it'll still be Feliz with a non-save situation. Jameson Taillon, 8 scoreless. Not allow an extra base hit. 3 singles, 2 walks. That was it.
Nice to follow highly regarded youngsters as they start their career. A high draft choice, somebody that is a blue chipper, and you watch him weave his way up through, and even with the bumps and challenges that Jameson has gone through, he is here at the big league level, and we're liking very much what we see so far. Kind of fun to follow that whole journey.
Something special here this afternoon.
Yeah, he's going to have a comfortable flight. That's another great thing. Getaway day, you pitch well, you get on the airplane, feeling pretty darn good flying out to Los Angeles, California.
If the Pirates can hold on to win today, they'll be 7-3 in Taillon's 10 starts. And the other rookie in the rotation, Chad Kuhl, the Pirates are 5-0 when he starts.
Well, and if things hold, his first win here on the home turf. He's pitched extremely well here. First win at home, that's a big deal.
There's Chad Kuhl.
He has experienced that.
Polanco with an RBI single back in the 3rd. Sacrificed his bat to do that. Pirates with a better offensive display today as well.
Yeah, early action. They have knocked cover off the ball, but they put up 4 runs on the board and back of good pitching. That works.
Some timely hits. Those back-to-back 2-out hits by Freese and Polanco in the third. Really a big difference maker. Down the line. And Dickerson with enough room. The Padres send down the side in order. They'll come to bat for their final chance of the night.
Telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And 4-0, the Pirates on top as we send it to the ninth. Jameson Taillon, 8 shutout innings. Did not allow an extra base hit. He was absolutely fantastic. In his 10th major league start today. He's already got 2 starts of 8 shutout innings. And look at our Barrel League leaders. Starting pitching's improving. The bullpen has been good now for the last, 7 weeks or so. The best ERA in Major League Baseball in that time. And Neftali Feliz a big part of that.
Jameson walked a couple today. That's a headline. Struck out 4, and those last 3 came kind of late after the 5th inning. And Mr. Watson, I presume, in case he's needed.
Taillon threw 101 pitches, 1 shy of his last start. That was his season high.
Mr. Feliz, 4-0, good ERA, looking for 3 outs.
Will Myers leads things off, Solarte, and then Dickerson to follow. Padres with 3 singles. Feliz, of course, no stranger to the 9th inning, a non-save situation, but plenty of saves as the closer of the Rangers all those years.
No stranger to bringing a lot of heat to home plate, along with the occasional breaking ball.
He's really been a nice find this year. Cast away by the Rangers and Tigers last season. He had an ERA over 6. Right back to his old self this year.
Shave and haircut, I used to say. Close shave, up and in. It looks very dramatic, and it is to a degree, but when that ball is in front of you, your first reaction is back. And sometimes people say that's the easier pitch to get out of the way of. Because if they want to get you, they'll throw it a little bit back at you. And the Phillies not wanting to get anybody in that category. Brian Vogel's song, you wonder if he flinches when he sees that. But, you know, he's up there at the plate and didn't look much different. You wonder what's going through his mind, but you know, he took some good cuts.
Nice hit for Will Myers.
Slice and dice action to right field.
The Phillies got away with one right down the middle on 3-1, but that time Myers taking that ball where it was pitched. So just the 4th hit for the Padres. All singles. Only time that they've had 2 men on today was back in the 3rd inning after a pass ball put 2nd and 3rd on. That Taillon got that final out. Myers is the only real threat for the Padres today. On Hervé Solarte, 0 for 3. Broke his bat. And Harrison waiting on it to come down. There's one out in the 9th. Taillon bidding for his first win here at PNC Park.
Yeah, just a little editorial comment. You know, people have this overview. But last night it looked so bad. You know, are these guys really trying? Well, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, they're trying just as hard last night as they are today. And that's, to me, it helps me keep track of things. It didn't work last night. It's working for whatever reasons, various reasons. But it didn't work last night, various reasons why it's working today. And you can't make that judgment because people can't get inside people. I don't know. I feel strongly about that.
You're totally right.
And the appearances sometimes can lead you to speculate. Yeah. But, you know, unless you're sure in those kind of categories, you better be sure if you're going to make those kind of judgments.
When a team doesn't hit, they look lethargic. I'm sure the Padres broadcast or Padres fans right now watching, boy, the Padres looking real sluggish today. You know, if they make a couple of errors in the field, it looks bad. You know, but on the very next day, the tables have switched. Padres aren't trying any less than they did yesterday either. Jameson Taillon was just that good today. You can't give credit to one and not credit to the other. As you mentioned, Edwin Jackson pitched very well yesterday.
And there are flat games. There's no doubt about it. There are flat games. There's just so many of them, all told.
There is a rare game, though. There's Edwin Jackson. 7 scoreless yesterday. There's that rare game, though, where a guy is flipping the ball up there and you screw yourself into the ground and you don't know why. Not every bad offensive performance is a great pitching performance, but I would say in the last 2, I'd underscore your thoughts on both Jackson and Taillon.
A whole lot of pitching last couple of weeks. I think that through because I want to believe that. I want to believe that there's effort.
And this team is trying hard, just as hard as it did last year. Ball, 2 strikes. Myers over there at first. Alex Dickerson against the club that drafted him. 2 for 10 in this series. Sometimes you see that player getting a great series or a great game First chance to face the old club. Mercer is there, and that's the second out in the ninth. Taillon sticking around. He wants to see this one to completion, as the Pirates trying to return the favor with a 4-0 shutout. $32,000+ on a Thursday afternoon. Myers uncontested, taking second base.
Does that make any difference out at second base? Not really, but you wouldn't want a base hit to ruin a shutout. Shutout looks prettier.
Schimpf 0 for 2.
Make sure of some signals here.
Padres have not had a runner in scoring position since the third. That's the only other inning that they have. So if they do change the signs up. Pirates trying to take the series, make it a 4-2 homestand. Ball 2. Schimpf 1 for 8 in the series. Reigning Rookie of the Month. Ball 3 from Feliz. Jabari Blash out on deck. He's driven in a pair of runs in this series. Also has homered and doubled. 3-0. There's the strike. Oh, ball 4. I beg your pardon. Just out of the zone. Phil Cuzzy, you got one on me.
And they want Watson.
Now a save situation with the tying run on deck. And so Clint Hurdle, as he has done all year, brings in the closer in such situations. So a 4-run lead, but a save situation here in the ninth. So Tony Watson coming on. In the ninth, looking for one more with the tying run out on deck. That makes it a save situation.
Looking for out number 27.
Jamison Tyone got the first 24 in shutout fashion. Trying to preserve the whitewashing. Now Tony Watson.
How about a one-pitch pop-up?
Glass 0 for 3 today. Strike one. He's ahead quickly, 2 strikes. Watson is 3 out of 4 since coming on as the Pirates closer. They're working with a 4-run lead.
Lash gonna extend the moment.
A strike away from victory. He struck him out. Watson converts the save, and the Pirates shut out the Padres 4-0.
One of my favorite songs, What a Difference a Day Makes. Last night's gone, we're here today. Don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but the Pittsburgh Pirates played a really, really good baseball game behind their young stud this afternoon at PNC Park. Well played, well done. Off to California for more adventures.
Great way to end the homestand. 4-2. The Pirates win both series, get back on track, and they'll pick up a half game on the Marlins. They could gain a full game on the Cardinals today, depending on what they do at Wrigley Field. Big win over the Padres as we get down to the final throws of this season. 4-0 after 8 strong innings from Jamison Tyone today. And it's time now for the post-game show. Let's go out to Robin Teague.
Joe and Steve, thanks very much. And a good point Joe brings up there. You finished the homestand 4-2. Teague 3-3 against these two teams wouldn't have cut the mustard. 4-2, it's a success. You move on. You head out to LA and San Francisco.
Well, it's a success in a couple of different ways, Rob. Number one, you've won 4-2 on the homestand. You've won 2 series. Number two, you exercised the demons from last night's ball game. So, yeah, in a lot of different ways, this game should make the Pirates feel a lot better about themselves.
Yeah, sloppily played game last night. The Pirates on the other end of that 4-0 score, and they do it with more offense than we saw last night. Much better defense, and another good start. Vogelsong had the good start. We talked about 1 out of 3 elements in place. They were all in place tonight, led by the starting pitcher, Jamison Tyone, who's standing by with Dan Potash. Danny?
Well, Rob, Jamison going 8 innings for the second time in his career, just 3 outs shy of a complete game. I know you topped 100 pitches this afternoon. It's hot. Did you have gas left in the tank? Did you have the opportunity to at least fight for the chance to come back out in the ninth?
I don't know. my legs were a little tired there towards the end, but my arm felt really good in that last inning. I don't know. I mean, I was at, I think, uncharted territory there with pitch count, so I understand it.
Your first win since late June, but obviously no secret that you've pitched extremely well in your last 5 outings. I think 8 earned runs in your last 38, 40 innings of work. What's been the difference over the last 4 or 5 starts?
I don't know. I think I'm just a little more comfortable up here. There was an adjustment period. I think the league and the scouting reports kind of adjusted to me, and now I'm making adjustments back at them.
Your first win at PNC Park. First win at PNC Park. How's it feel to get in front of the home folks?
It's good. Thanks for saying. A good crowd here on a day game. Yeah, glad to get it in front of the home fans.
And that first hit is not too far away, right? You almost had it in the corner, right?
It's coming. I'm flirting with it.
All right, Jamison, well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jamison Tyone, victorious. He's now 3-2, and the Bucks are headed to LA, guys.
Dan, thanks very much. And Jamison Tyone really looking like the guy they drafted 2nd overall in 2010, hopefully giving him a 1-2 punch at the top of the rotation with Garrett Cole. And he is Miller time brought to you by Miller Lite. And Teak, what can you say about this performance from Jameson Taillon?
It was stellar. I mean, you watched his performance today from the first inning on. He was in complete control of what he was doing out there. We talk about command. He had command the entire ball game. The stuff is really good. The breaking ball was sharp. You start looking as he's moving through the game about how many pitches he's thrown and how many innings. After 6 innings, he's thrown 70-some pitches. At the end of the game, he throws 8 innings on 101 pitches. So, everything you could ask for from a starting pitcher, Jameson Taillon gave you today. He took the game deep into the game and pitched extremely well through all 8 of those innings.
2.85 ERA now, a 3-2 record for Jameson Taillon, a 4-2 homestand for the Pirates, who are moving up in the wild card race. Coming up on Pirates postgame, presented by the Allegheny Health Network. Updated standings, highlights from around the league, highlights from this one, postgame reaction from Clint Hurdle and others. We'll check back in with Joe and Steve and more coming up next on Pirates postgame.